I want to share two stories about single mothers I've met today. Stories that have stayed with me and influenced my views on resilience, hardship, and human connection. I was deeply affected by these events, which occurred unexpectedly in the middle of routine life. They've encouraged me to consider not just the difficulties that single parents experience, but also the larger societal factors that affect their life. Upon reflection on these instances, I have gained insight into the intricacy of their situations, the gravity of their duties, and the frequently unnoticed hardships they bear. Parenting alone is no small task. Research shows that single mothers, who make up around 80% of single-parent homes in the U.S., frequently deal with societal criticism, emotional stress, and financial hardship while attempting to provide for their children. These stories provide a glimpse into the wider human experience, showing how compassion, irritation, and understanding can converge in surprising ways, rather than just being about the people I encountered. Let's revisit those times, discuss my observations, and examine the insights I am still gaining from them. A couple of months ago, on my way home from work, I saw a vehicle stop in the middle of the street. I stopped my car, approached the vehicle, and saw that the driver had run out of petrol. I approached the female motorist and offered to assist her in pulling her car to the side of the road and driving her to the closest gas station. I didn't realize she had 3 young children in the back seat, all under 10, until we began chatting. I observed her dealings with her children as we collaborated to find a solution to the problem. She was clearly under stress, sometimes raising her voice and being physically harsh with them. It was painful to see. For instance, I had to softly lead one of her youngsters back to the sidewalk since they were about to step into oncoming traffic. I was horrified to watch her take a sleeping kid out of the vehicle and put them on the floor while she refueled later, when we came back with the gas. One of the reasons I wanted to assist at the time was because I was striving for an Employee of the Month award at my workplace, which included some acknowledgement and a bonus. However, the longer I stayed with this woman, not in relation to the children, but in relation to her conduct, the more uncomfortable I became. Considering the situation, it seemed odd for her to inquire if I had a girlfriend. I stated that I was in a relationship and made an effort to help her get back on the road. Upon reflection, I understood that raising a child alone is extremely difficult. Research shows that single mothers frequently experience more stress due to the demands of raising children alone, financial constraints, and a lack of support. This may explain why she appeared overwhelmed, though it does not justify abusive conduct. I also took into account that she may not have had a support system or parenting materials to help her deal. However, it was difficult to overlook her children in such a disordered circumstance. I was moved to speak up, so I offered a few gentle parenting suggestions, such as being more aware of her children in traffic. I felt conflicted when I left because she didn't react positively. My father used to liken parenting to piloting an airplane when I was a child. He would advise, "You need to know how to control the plane, be prepared for turbulence, and take care of your passengers." It's a straightforward comparison, yet it resonated with me. Seeing this woman in trouble made me consider how some parents might lack the resources or emotional ability to fly the plane well, particularly in demanding circumstances. The second tale describes my father's encounter with a single mother he went out with many years ago. He believed her 2 children were his and thought they had a solid bond. However, when he found out she had been cheating on him and that the kids were not biologically his, everything fell apart. Heartbroken, he confronted her and even fought the other man, but he was defeated. He called me a week before he ended the relationship, heartbroken, and told me everything. I was furious for him and urged him to sever all connections, even if it meant leaving things unresolved. He later returned the call and expressed his reluctance to go along with it, stating that he didn't want to ruin what they had created, even though they had been betrayed. I tragically discovered last week that he had committed suicide. I've been feeling guilty, questioning if I gave him too much advice or if I overlooked a plea for assistance. Suicide is complicated and frequently connected to a variety of issues, such as grief, betrayal, and melancholy. Mental health data suggests that men are more vulnerable to suicide, particularly following the end of a relationship, as they may feel alone or have trouble asking for assistance. Instead of emphasizing rage, I wish I had urged him to confide in friends or speak to a counselor. These experiences have led me to be wary of making generalizations, just as not everyone conforms to stereotypes. Not all single mothers are like those portrayed in these narratives. For instance, I've come across single mothers who are exceptionally strong, balancing their careers, parenting, and personal development with ease. However, I've also witnessed how societal pressures such as poverty, lack of childcare, and judgment can drive some people to their breaking point. I can't judge too harshly since I've had my own share of automobile accidents, so on a lighter side. I once drove across South Dakota and left my keys on the passenger seat, which caused me to become locked out of my automobile. I called AAA to get my car back while I was tired from a long journey, but fortunately, I had my wallet and phone. Another instance was in Hawaii, when I drove with my windows down and a large bag of guinea pig food in the car. Let's just say I learned my lesson about locking up my belongings. Everyone makes mistakes occasionally, regardless of whether they are single parents or not, and these errors serve as a reminder of that. I still can't get rid of the picture of that kid almost crossing into traffic or my father's anguish after being betrayed. I've heard similar tales from others, like a buddy whose cab driver father almost ran over a child who rushed into the street because a parent wasn't looking. Incidents like this demonstrate how minor lapses can lead to significant repercussions. Nowadays, I reduce my speed and stay watchful when driving through places with parked cars, particularly because bike lanes add another level of difficulty to city streets. These narratives go beyond single parenting. They address human hardship, responsibility, and the consequences of our choices. Some may contend that single mothers are intrinsically bad and that men should steer clear of them. Rather, I believe that more compassion and support systems are needed to assist people in dealing with challenging situations. For example, community initiatives that provide affordable childcare or parenting courses might be very beneficial. If there's a lesson to be learned from this, it's that while it's vital to help others, it's also important to take care of oneself. Being a good Samaritan does not involve disregarding red flags or endangering oneself. Regardless of whether you are dating a single parent or anyone else, trust and communication are absolute necessities in any relationship. I'd like to know what these stories brought up for you. What are your opinions on them? Have you ever met someone, like single parents or others in challenging situations, that made you think or doubt? Perhaps you have insights that might provide a different perspective on these events, or you have seen them from a different angle. I'm really interested to know how these stories connect with you, since they generate discussions that aid in better understanding one another. Sharing viewpoints might highlight the complexities of human hardship and resilience, reminding us that no one's path is easy. These reflections also connect to larger societal issues, such as how to assist overburdened single parents and what role compassion plays in responding to those in need. Single mothers, who frequently experience disproportionately high emotional and financial burdens, may benefit greatly from community support systems like affordable childcare and mental health services, according to research. However, it's also important to think about how we react in the moment, whether it's providing assistance or establishing limits to safeguard our own well-being. I hope these tales motivate you to consider not only the individuals I encountered, but also the innumerable others following similar routes. Keep this discussion going by sharing your own experiences, leaving your thoughts in the comments, or even striking up a conversation with a friend. If this resonated with you, please share it with a friend who may feel the same way, and let's keep examining the beautiful, chaotic intricacies of human connection together. I'll see you in the next one, where we'll explore more stories that inspire, challenge, and unite us all.